All right, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the Startup Trade Show and Blitz Competition. We have 11 exciting companies to present to you today. The first 5 will go at 9 o'clock, and the next 6 will go at 10:20. The Trade Show and Startup exhibit, as you guys may know, are set up right outside the door, so when you guys have a chance, go talk to these companies. The Blitz Competition, which is where we are right now, is going to be 5 minutes pitch, where the companies are going to tell us about their innovative technologies, and they will have 3 minutes of Q&A with the judges. And it's a hard stop at 8 minutes, right? So I'm pleased to introduce our 3 judges. We have Jake Heller, who's a principal at Spectrum Equity. We have Bill Gurley, a general partner at Benchmark, and we have Dan Shanoff, founder of Quickish. All right, so please join me in welcoming our judges and our participants today. And we'll get started with our very first company.
You going? Yeah. Hi, my name is Andrew Hunt, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Wave Company. We create innovative products and turnkey solutions that make live events more enjoyable for fans and profitable for teams and venues. Our company's mission is to connect fans like never before to their favorite sports teams and music artists. We want to address 2 serious problems of the industry today, and we think we found the solutions for them. 1, 40% of tickets go unsold every year in the United States. So how can we sell more tickets? And 2, even the tickets that are already being sold, half of them get resold on the secondary market. So how do you actually know who's showing up for your events? We want to help you sell more tickets, verify attendance, and also enhance the guest experience, increase sponsorship revenues, and get the lines moving faster so we can sell more concessions and merch. We can do that, with WavePass, which is our patented wearable technology, which is the newest way to access live events and pay with a wave of the wrist. It's a sponsor-supported rewards and ticketing platform that serves a variety of purposes. It could be a rewards credit card. It could be a souvenir gift card. It's a valuable sponsor-branded asset, and because our patented wristbands are reusable, it can be a season ticket and a wearable rewards credential. And now I want to show you a quick video on how our technology works.
Jack and Kyle are die-hard fans and 2 of your best customers. On Jack's birthday, his friends gave him a WavePass wristband loaded with a smart chip inside that conveniently stores his season tickets, parking pass, and money all in one place. WavePass is a powerful wristband that can be your credit card and ticket into live events, and it's made Jack a real VIP. Now that Jack's a high roller, he gladly takes his buddy Kyle out for some pre-game drinks and quickly pays the tab with his WavePass. Across the street, he breezes right through the WavePass VIP line and walks into the stadium like he owns the place. Without a WavePass, Kyle is stuck waiting in the regular line. It's so long, he misses the kickoff. Later, the guys head to concessions for a snack. With the help of WavePass, Jack never misses a second of the action, and buying merch or food is just a flick of the wrist. After the game, Jack shows Kyle how to sign up for his own WavePass. And now the 2 pals manage all of their event tickets through their online accounts and enjoy all the perks of a VIP experience, while earning awesome rewards at the same time.
We've created a truly world-class ecosystem by partnering with some of the largest manufacturers and integration companies. Gemalto's helping us with EMV payments, Ambience with mobile app development and iBeacon integration, Precision Dynamics with manufacturing of the wristbands, Ski Data is our preferred integration company, WWNL with fulfillment, and Fish with sponsor activations and social media integration. We designed this best-of-breed ecosystem so that we could design custom solutions for you that's both technology agnostic and plug and play. So let's talk about what this means for you. WavePass can deliver real-time business insights because every transaction and fan experience can be tracked back to the fan's account. We can help you increase sponsorship revenues because this is a cool product that teams can sell to their sponsors as a valuable sponsor-branded asset. We can verify attendance because every WavePass account is linked to the fan's credit card and rewards credential. And we can help increase tickets and merchandise sales because we're making it easier to gift tickets and preload money to spend at your venues. We can also get the lines moving faster and drive higher value transactions because research shows that when wristbands are used at live events, people spend up to 40% more. This is all happening right now. We're rolling out our pilots. We launched in Aspen at the Jazz Aspen Music Festival, where we provided the VIP credentials and secure access into the patrons tent. We have a handful of pilots lined up at the Cowboys Golf Club, which is the only NFL-themed golf course in the world. We're talking to 8 teams, 3 global banks, 4 major ticketing companies, and 5 major brands. And we want to talk to you about taking all those unsold tickets and leveraging our wearable technology to create a revolutionary rewards credit card platform where you can earn 1% of the gross spend of your fans throughout the year. Thank you.
How do you price?
So it depends on the use case, and if it's a credit card, the bank would actually give it to the fan. We become a new account activation marketing company basically for the bank. So banks are spending upwards of $200 to get a new customer to sign up. So we're tapping into the passion that fans have. So if you're a Pats fan, you can basically sign up for this and you get it for free. The bank makes the money on the back end. So the economics on credit cards is that 3% of the gross spend is the profit. So the idea is the Pats can make 1% of that 3%.
So,
Right.
sorry, no, please go ahead.
How do you get paid?
Well, we're going to take a piece of every time it's swiped. We want to get a piece of the back end clicks.
So,
Yep.
so in the end, I mean, if you were partnering with a team, you would hand them whatever. Let's say the Patriots have 50,000 season ticket holders. They would procure 50,000 of them to give away to the season ticket holders.
Yes. So if the team wanted to issue them as a season ticket credential, they certainly could. The big idea here is that we could take this to Visa if the NFL got together and said, we're going to deliver you 2 million, very high, high roller type fans. They're going to spend $25,000 a year on these cards. We're going to take 1% because that's the same deal that Citibank gave American Airlines. 10 million customers spend $10,000 a year on their Citi American Airlines rewards card. That's $100 billion in spending volume per year. American Airlines gets 1% of that, so that's $1 billion a year.
All right, we have 1 minute to go. I don't mean to, I got to ask this one question. Okay, in like a month, Apple's going to come out with something that I want to wear on my wrist. I only have so much room on my wrist. So how would you be interoperable with Apple, and how would you work on an Apple Watch? And why do I need that band if I have an Apple Watch?
We actually we're taking a different position than Apple. We don't have a screen on our wristband. We think that the brand, if you're a Yankees fan or a Pats fan or a Cowboys fan, we want the wristband to speak to that. It's the simplicity of it. We just want to do 2 things really well. We want it to be your credit card and your ticket into live events.
How do you deal with security?
Well, EMV payments is a big security issue right now. Gemalto manufactures 1 billion credit cards a year using EMV for 3,000 global banks around the world. And they manufacture all the SIM cards for AT&T and Verizon. So security is a big deal for us, and that's why we've put together this best-of-breed ecosystem.
I think we're done.
I think
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you.
All right, companies, you know your order, so if you guys want to just roll up, we'll do a running clock.
The clock's kind of a little behind. All right. Good morning, everyone. We're Photovision, based in Paris and New York. In our view, performance analytics comes down to one single question. How do you increase ROI on your assets? It's the same question whether your assets are broadcast rights, player performance, or gaming. One of the drawbacks currently in the market today is that capturing data it requires adding significant amounts of infrastructure, additional cameras, wearables, sensors, college interns, what have you. But this infrastructure is costly and isn't scalable. At Footavision, we've developed a proprietary algorithm called PhotoTrack. PhotoTrack runs across any broadcast video feed and does not need any tracking sensors nor any additional cameras. PhotoTrack then recreates the pitch across 3 dimensions, tracking everything on the pitch, including all 22 players and the ball. From there, using our photo analysis system, we apply advanced mathematics and scientific principles from various fields of research to determine a wide range of analytics, both about the players individually as well as in relation to their teammates, opponents, and the goal. What does this output look like? Take a look at the demo on the screen. This is PSG against Olympique Marseille. At this moment in the match, the critical question is, what is the optimum path for Marseille to ultimately score a goal from this position? And to the PSG fans in the audience, don't worry, the technology works equally well in both directions. If I freeze the frame right now, we can look at this and after some time determine that, based on the passing network and the players who are marked, the sequence with the highest probability to goal is Payet to Lamini to Alessandrini. But it would take us several minutes to come up with that answer, and 2 seconds later in the match, that answer would be radically different. Our technology can determine that answer automatically, and it can also tell you that the passing sequence will increase your probability of scoring in this position from 0% to 20%, synthesizing a difficult concept into an easily understood metric. It will also continually update and adjust the answer as the play develops. This is just the tip of the iceberg of the analysis photo analysis can do once Footatrack has recreated the pitch in 3D. Thus, the Footavision client will be able to draw powerful conclusions based on this data and activate on this data with players and fans. So who are these potential clients? We see 2 key target segments. Firstly, broadcasters, including sport-specific and team-specific broadcasters, who are looking at this type of content to attract and build engagement with fans. For example, we envision using this output to create broadcast segments and second screen content, which can be sold on a premium basis or as sponsored content. Sponsors in particular will appreciate the opportunity to engage with millennials using this content because millennials have grown up in an era of big data and with multiple side panels during the broadcast. Secondly, clubs and coaches. We see the same solution also helping coaches who will be able to see potential opportunities and strategies on his or his assistant's iPad and make adjustments accordingly. Further, clubs and coaches will be attracted to Footavision to make scouting and player development more efficient. Clubs will be able to track and monitor performance both of the first team as well as the reserve and youth teams, as well as for key potential transfer prospects and potential upcoming opponents. One point we should highlight is that any size club can use our solution because while the algorithm works at its best with the full multi-HD camera suite, it can also run on a video feed from a GoPro. So where are we today? We are currently pre-revenue, as we only started in the middle of 2014. And while we have been able to produce some exciting initial results, we continue to develop the algorithm. And in particular, from a development standpoint, our goal is to develop the technology so that it is as close to real time as possible and while remaining as fully automated as possible. Excuse me. Our next business development milestone is to partner with several key strategic clients in all of our target segments. And in particular, we want to work with partners who will run our technology across the entire full fire hose of camera feeds from inside the stadium, which we feel will unleash the true value of our technology. We're currently working with a large national team and have also engaged with several major broadcasters in Europe and in the US, all of whom could be fantastic partners for us. From there, we see Footavision continue to grow to other sports and clients, and in particular to sports such as hockey and rugby, as well as to other clients such as gaming houses. Thank you very much for your time this morning. We're Footavision, improving ROI by capturing next-generation performance analytics with minimal added infrastructure.
Just talk a little bit about the revenue model.
Sure, we see 2 types of revenue models here. Firstly, a smaller club or a smaller organization could do a subscription-based model for X euros a month, where we would run analysis for them. On a larger scale basis, we can provide white label content and really co-develop the algorithm to be unique to that organization.
So I just want to make sure I heard you right. You said that the main use case is off of the TV broadcaster using the broadcaster's feeds, but you could do it with a GoPro. With a GoPro on a stick, looking at any field, so I could use it as a practice tool, right? I coach my son's 3rd grade soccer team. Could I apply this to my third grade soccer team?
You could. The content won't be as rich as you'd imagine, or the data won't be as rich if you have a GoPro or one single feed. But the idea is that the algorithm iterates on itself. Like any other algorithm, the more input it gets, the smarter it becomes. So it can iterate on a GoPro feed, or it can iterate off of NBC's 6 cameras at the stadium.
Why do there's a Gamecast technology that isn't dependent on using a broadcast feed is a commodity across every sports site out there, which is great. Do you need to be partnered with a broadcaster, or can you just rip it off of a feed and then send it to a partner with a company that may not have the live rights but would love the second screen rights and the sort of AI rendering rights?
Sure. We need to have someone who has rights to the feed, however it might be. Right? What I mean to say that it doesn't have to be the broadcaster, doesn't have to be the club, but we need to, the algorithm doesn't necessarily need to be on the feed, but from a business perspective, we can't really sell anything if it's not our feed. So to the extent that a third party has the ability to do that in terms of the legal right to make content like that, I absolutely love to partner with them.
What do you take away from how Sports View's charging in basketball and what that means for what you might be able to charge as a disruptive player?
I think in my mind, and many jump in if you disagree, I think in our minds it's a, this is somewhat complementary, because in our mind, our real secret sauce here is captured it. It's the capturing of the data using FootaTrack. Once you've got that kind of data and you recreated the pitch, it's just advanced mathematics to come up with the performance analytics. So in our view, I think we're actually complementary to SportView in a lot of ways. I think SportView does a great job of analyzing and presenting data, just to be fair.
What's your background?
I think we are 5 friends. Background in we used to work for investment banking, so with mathematics and finance.
And also, sorry, and within investment banking, that also encompasses technology and advanced mathematics towards derivatives. So a few of us have genuine capital markets on the trading floor background, and a few of us have being in the back end, actually running models and coming up with stochastic analysis.
Any other questions?
I'm good.
Okay. Thanks
you.
a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
All right, queued up. All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike Vento. I am the founder of My Fuel Up. And the first thing I want to tell you guys about is a big problem we have in America right now. It's actually a $4 trillion problem in this country, and that's our healthcare spend. Okay? And about $500 billion out of that healthcare spend could be removed if we would simply take care of ourselves better, if we improve the way that we eat and we exercise. Now, technology could do a lot in this space, but what has it given us so far? It's given us calorie trackers in 2 forms. The first form is nutrition tracking. You can log what you ate after you already ate it, reactively, okay? Second form is fitness tracking. You can track how many calories you've burned through activity with devices on your wrist. But what good is that information in the absence of a plan, okay? And a plan is something my mom always used to say to me. She used to say, Mike, if you don't have a plan, you can plan to fail. And I said, why isn't technology giving us a plan? Okay, so I said, why isn't there an app that's doing this? I want to make it, because quite frankly, I'm disgusted that MyFitnessPal just sold to Under Armour for $450 million, when 95% of what's in their database, I wouldn't tell my worst enemy to eat, okay? So let's go to the next slide. So what is MyFuelUp.com? Well, it is a free web and mobile application that provides nutrient time, flexible meal planning that is in support of your body, your fitness goal, and your lifestyle as well. And our mission is to empower people to make the most effective and efficient daily nutritional decisions through technology that's in your pocket in the smartphone, okay? Now, how do we do it? So the way we do it, we take a couple inputs from you. We ask you a couple questions up front when you log into the app. We want to know basic information, like most of the apps, but we also want to really get to know you. We want to know workout types, workout timing, the fitness goal you have, how many meals per day you like to eat, and also your food preferences. You're allergic to anything? Do you follow a lifestyle? You're vegan, vegetarian, Paleolithic, and even if you shop organic. Once we have that information, the gears turn, and we actually create an optimized output. Please click again for me. Ah, there's my clicker. So the output we create is a customized meal plan that is nutrient timed. It's completely editable within our healthful constraints, and we give you the option to save the plans. Once you save the plan, now you get something even more useful, which is a grocery list. So when you're at the grocery store, you're actually going to know exactly what you need to buy and in the proper quantities, okay, which is actually really useful information that prevents you from buying things you don't need and all those temptations. We also give you the opportunity to put supplements, to integrate a supplement schedule into your diet, and also to put in recipes created by real chefs. So here's a use case. You're at Whole Foods, you pull out your app, you have access to your diet, but what you really want at the grocery store is your grocery list. So here's your grocery list. Now what we can do as you walk around the store is something really cool. We can put coupons in front of you. Coupons because we know where you are, we know where you're shopping. We could also put product advertisements that will influence you to buy a particular brand that is on your grocery list, okay? And we can work with all of the major chains. We can also work with a budding industry known as grocery delivery, which is a $17 billion industry expected for 2017. Companies like Amazon and Google are getting in the game. We want to be there to intercept them when they do. Another use case, you're at home, you can't eat the meal that's on the My Fuel Up plan for lunch or dinner. Pull out your app, we're going to tell you all the restaurants that we have nutritional information for that are in the area, and we're going to give you an option right on the menu that could replace the meal you were supposed to eat, whether it be by calories or by macronutrient breakdown. Okay, also very powerful information. And we can work with over 500 national chains by virtue of the API we're initially connecting to. We want to get mom and pop shops on board as we grow and scale the business. Promotion channels for this, we're going to go after physical trainers, number one, because most of them can't give their clients nutritional recommendations simply because it's illegal, right? So they can actually hand people an app now that's going to ensure that they are following the person's recommendations 24/7 when they can't be with them, and also going to avoid any legal hassles. And this gives them accountability. There's 251,000 trainers in the United States. Each one has 45 to 90 clients, so this is actually a pretty big market for us. Another is insurance providers and corporate wellness programs. So we can work with big companies like there's a Fortune 500 company that already wants to put this in front of their employees, and we can get one big win in that space. It'll lead to so many more. And then SEO and social media is also very important. So one segment we're really going after is moms and wives in the ages of 25 to 45, because we're finding that they are the conduit to the household, to getting the husband on board, to getting the children on board, and the other athletes in the family. So that's an important segment for us, and it's a rather large one. Competitive landscape, you can see we're the only ones that are really free and customized. Okay, there's a lot of free and generic services. We consider wearable devices to be generic and costly, and we believe that if we can work with these wearable devices, because the plan now gives the wearable devices a lot of meaning to people, we can actually pull them into relevance. We can actually make them very relevant to people, and we believe that there are a lot of companies with interest in wearable devices that would then want to acquire us as a result of that capability. Our team, so I'm the founder, put a lot of money into it before I raised my first seed round last year. Industrial engineering background from the University of Florida, hence our orange and blue colors. And then dual degrees from MIT, graduated Sloan in 2012. And you can see I formed a little team with a web architect, couple developers, certified and licensed dietitian, and a trainer as well, and even a chef. So. And then for a revenue model, you can see 2015, we're hoping by the end of the year, or at least by mid-2016, to have 100,000 users. We're well on our way with 2,000 after launching 4 weeks ago. What we're hoping is that next year we can start getting into that revenue model, start getting $2 per user going from the food sponsorship revenue, start getting those trainers involved, get 50 to 1,000 trainers and coaches involved during 2016, and hopefully by 2017, we will then be making $6 a user on targeted advertising, which is in line with what Facebook is doing. And at that point, we're talking about a very successful company that could command a Series A of about $5 million. So that's where we're going, and happy to answer any questions you guys may have. Thank you.
So the business is highly dependent on the partner ecosystem that you outline. Grocery stores, delivery services like Instacart, which I actually think is one of the more interesting things here, restaurants. What kind of conversations have you had, and what has the feedback been that's helping?
Yeah, so we're just in the infancy of it, but even just that first big win in each of those spaces is going to domino affect the rest. Like for instance, I have a Fortune 500 company, I won't divulge the name, that's interested in putting in front of their employees. If we can get that company on board, and we're actually promising them free premium app, free everything to use this with their employees, but if we get a 90,000 company or employee company on board that is very well known, that's going to lead to others. So that's one example. One thing we do, if you look at the recommendations we provide, it's all about shopping on the outskirts of the store, not getting the processed crap that you find in the center. center. And that's what a lot of stores like Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Sprouts are really big on. So we think we have a very good value proposition to them, in addition to the fact that they can push the coupons they want to push and choose the brands they want to choose. So I think once we start to get the user base, 2,000 users is not enough, but if we start to grow 50,000, 100,000 users, it's going to be very easy to convince somebody to take a shot on us in a small market, and then if it's successful there, you know, expand nationally, just like a lot of these small beverage companies do, for instance.
You didn't spend any time on any like viral tactics. You talked about multiple constituencies, but how do you get those guys to tip into one another?
You said viral tactics?
Yeah.
Yeah, some investors are always scared when I say I want a viral strategy, but I do want a viral strategy, believe me. So one of the things we're doing is, you know, from the coach standpoint, we believe that if every coach we get on board, right, can get 45 to 90 of their clients. And with 251,000 coaches, this is huge for us. So we're trying to get partnerships going. We've been to 2 different conventions specifically for coaches who are trying to renew their certifications last year. This was before we had the product launched. And every single coach, I kid you not, out of hundreds of coaches, there was probably like 3 or 4 that had a negative response. All the rest of them were like, I want to put this in front of my clients. I want it now. So we're going to do that circuit again this year with the product working. The Find a Coach feature we have on our website allows them to put their information on the site, and that way potential clients can find them through the site. They can view their clients' diets. They can view their clients' progress charts. So if we can get that segment going, then that's going to create the domino effect, because every one of their clients that uses it and has success is going to tell their friends, and then the word of mouth just blows up. So, yeah.
Cool.
I think we're out of time. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Hi, my name is Swetha, and I'm the CEO of Fenvana. I founded Fenvana 6 months ago to solve a personal pain point that I have as a diehard San Antonio Spurs fan living in the Bay Area. While I was in college, I found that it was really hard for me to discover and connect with other Spurs fans nearby. And I had no idea where to watch Spurs games on campus. After I graduated from Stanford, I had the opportunity to work as a data scientist at Facebook for 2 years. During that time, I got to play with a lot of really cool social data, and I found out that I wasn't alone. In fact, roughly half of all socially engaged fans are long-tail fans. So long-tail fans is a term that I coined to define a set of fans who lives outside of the state in which the team that they like is from. So for the San Antonio Spurs, roughly 50% of their fan base is outside of Texas. And for the New England Patriots, which has a really global following, a whopping 80% of their fan base is outside of the state of Massachusetts. So this is a huge percentage of the fans, but many teams are currently focusing on just getting more fans into the stadium. So there's a large untapped market of long-tail fans like me. Using my background from Facebook in monetization and modeling, we estimate that the total addressable market opportunity in the United States is $1.2 billion for long-tail fans. And this is based on 60 million such fans, taking into account a 67% smartphone penetration rate. When you toss in cricket and soccer into the equation, the global market opportunity jumps to a whopping $4 billion, and this is based on a 10% smartphone penetration rate. So how are we going to reach these fans? So we have 3 main features on the Fenvana app: personalized real-time content, contextual social discovery, and a second screen in-stadium experience. Together, this creates a one-stop shop for all things that a long-tail fan needs. So what's the technology behind Fenvana? So our mantra in the company is content is queen and context is the prince. Since we're all at an analytics conference, I think we can agree that analytics is king. So this is a screenshot of our trending view on Fenvana that's personalized based on the teams that you like. So growing up in the Bay Area, I am a Warriors fan, but the Spurs are my #1 team, so I'm actually following 2 teams. I took this screenshot on Thursday night during the Cavaliers-Warriors game, and so Steve Kerr kind of had a meltdown against Bennett Salvatore, and he got a technical. So he's trending there, and that was within minutes of the technical being given out. So how this is happening is in the last 30 days, we processed over 7.3 million NBA events, and we're using natural language processing to figure out exactly what the context is for why Steve Kerr is trending. When you tap on that tile for Steve Kerr, you get even more information. So it may be a little hard to see, but Tom Thibodeau is a related person of Steve Kerr, and that's because they're both tied for having the second most technicals among active NBA coaches in the league right now. So using our proprietary analytics engine, we're creating intelligent ranking based on dynamic context hours before Facebook and Twitter. And to prove it, I took screenshots of Facebook trending and Twitter trending. So Facebook's on the left and Twitter's on the right during the game on Thursday. So this was a screenshot from the Facebook side a couple hours after the game. There's no mention of Steve Kerr anywhere. On Twitter, even though Steve Kerr is trending, there's no context behind it. And keep in mind that I'm a really big Spurs fan and Warriors fan across both platforms, and that's a majority of the content that I post. So another issue with Twitter that a lot of the fans that we've spoken to is that it's really hard to get a following, and it's a bit intimidating. So another component of Fenvana is that we want to provide a megaphone for every long-tail fan. We want content to win out, and we want fans to be able to discover, connect, and interact with other long-tail fans around them. So here, these are posts that fans can create with certain context. So some fans who are currently in our limited release had posts about LeBron James, Steve Kerr. When you post something, it will stay in the system for about 24 hours and then expire. And the rationale behind the ephemeral posting is so content is fresh and always relevant. We also have a very cool dynamic second screen experience for sports fans. So this is a screenshot of our games view here. And we are combining the social glue that holds Fenvana together, chatter, with a real-time experience of games. So you have scores, stats, and play-by-play here combined with the social chatter. And the idea here is that a Spurs fan living in California and a Spurs fan living in New York can all have a really great experience watching the game. On the top right-hand side, there's a places pin. If you tap that, you can see a list of places nearby that you can watch the game. We have a dynamic database of 26,000 bars in the United States, and we're able to map the bar to a particular game based on the channel and other information that we have about the bars from some of the algorithms that we have been using to process places. So our launch plan is as follows. We currently have our NBA beta version ready, and we've been demoing it this weekend to many fans. And we are currently in limited release. So please sign up, come by our table outside, and we'd love to have you on the app to give us some feedback. We plan to launch to the general public in March so that we can ramp up in time for the NBA playoffs, and then follow the sports calendar shortly thereafter. So Fenvana is fan nirvana, and what I love most about it is it solves my pain points as a long-tail fan. Thank you.
The market data you gave, what was that? What is it, like jersey sales, or I didn't know. You don't have to go back.
Oh,
just...
the market sizing data?
Yeah.
So the way that I came up with that, I used my background in monetization from Facebook, and I looked at the total revenue that Facebook got from the United States and also Twitter got from the United States, and benchmarked the advertising revenue. So for Twitter, it was about $5 a user, and for Facebook, it was about $10 a user. And based on Nielsen year-in-review sports data, as well as other sources that reported the socially engaged fan base for different sports, I tried to benchmark the numbers. Like for NFL, you can monetize a bit more per fan. And I figured out the long-tail numbers and took into account the market penetration rate of smartphones to get to the 1.2 billion.
All right, so it's intriguing to me. My first startup was serving displaced fans on the AOL platform in 1995. So it's interesting that it's still an issue, right?
Yeah.
But there's a way to solve it, I think, now that is different than when you were putting in a disk. There was a coaster. You seem to have, you're trying to solve three problems, and I think you need to pick one. The news feed is solved. The live game and stats is solved. The thing that you opened with that I found to be most interesting was this idea of social discovery. And you have this one little feature that you sort of like left for the end when you were into overtime about a place to watch, and sort of sort of closing the barrier between the like displaced virtual and displaced actual is, I think, the biggest opportunity that you're looking at here, right? Like, I don't need, like, I'm a Wizards fan. I'm on Wizards Twitter. It's great. It's a fabulous community. You know what I'm talking about, fire Randy Whitman. But I think that there's a really cool opportunity for you to say, how do you get out and with other fans physically through the use of the app? Because you're a Spurs fan in the Bay Area, you want to find the Spurs bar. And if you can tell me where that is, you've solved a problem that no other sports site or sports app is solving for me right now.
I think you're running over.
It's funny that you mentioned that because there is a strong events component with Fenvana. But based on some of the advice that I got from some of my mentors at Facebook, they told me to focus on the real-time aspect and really get the first 1,000 users on the platform, get them very excited about the product, and then integrate the events piece into that so that there's not just like a few people here and there using the app. Yep. So the whole idea is for fans to be able to see what other fans nearby are saying, and that's a feature that can be unlocked when there's enough fans.
Facebook people are wrong.
And we're way over time. Thank you so much. Thank you.
If you're an endurance athlete today or an inspiring endurance athlete, you have two imperfect options to improve your fitness. You can either enlist the services of a professional coach. You can pay anything from $100 to $500 per month for that service, or you can download a template training plan. As you can tell from my funny accent, I'm not from around here. I've travelled over from Ireland to this conference. Back home in Ireland, our idea, we've had a lot of press attention for it. We've been in most of the daily newspapers, some of the niche cycling magazines, and that culminated in us winning the GSK App Challenge for Best App Idea for 2015. So my background is I trained as a lawyer. After that, I had the opportunity to be a professional cyclist. I got to travel the world. I got to be teammates with some great professional riders, work with some of the world's best coaches. After that, I transitioned into owning a coaching company. So we coached athletes, everything from absolute beginners looking to lose weight, all the way up to professional athletes. But I soon realized that business model I had, it was inherently flawed. I had a linear time to income ratio. So I set about trying to automate that process. And that's where Pocket Coach was born. So the team I built around me, I'm super excited about. Firstly, I contacted a childhood friend of mine, Kieran O'Connell. Kieran, he's an avid cyclist, he's an MBA, runs multiple businesses back in Ireland very successfully. A mutual friend of mine from Sloan, MIT, introduced me to our CTO, Santi Katori. Santi, he's an undergrad in neuroscience, and he's a self-proclaimed data geek. Matthew Shaw, he's our algorithm guy. Matt's an undergrad in engineering, and he's a master's in computer science. So the whole team, we're well rooted in academia, but as you can see, all the team, we're united by a common love for sport. So I want to introduce you to someone. This is Joe. So Joe is our target consumer. Joe is one of 120 million people worldwide who ride their bike 3 times per week. They're going to be the initial focus for our market. So I've worked with countless Joes through the years. Joe has 3 problems that we can define. So Joe, he's sick of the culture of misinformation. At present, Joe, he reads a training article, he subscribes to a training philosophy in week 1 until week 2, he reads a new training article, he subscribes to that training philosophy going forward. He's just throwing punches in the dark at the moment, and he's hoping something lands, and he's hoping his performance improves. Also, Joe, he's not a professional athlete. Joe's a family man. Joe has work. He's trying to balance his social life. He's trying to maintain relationships with family, kids. He wants to maximize every hour he trains. He wants to get bang for his buck, return on his training investment. Competitors in the market at the moment, they're using peer comparison to measure performance. So they're going to plot Joe, who's your average everyday cyclist, on the same chart as me. And they're going to say, okay, Joe rode this distance in this time, a professional rider rode it in this time. Joe's feeling pretty shitty about himself because he's He's 600 in the list in the table. So we think that's a flawed way for analysing it. We want to give Joe validation, and we want to give him kudos every time. So we think Joe should be striving for progress, not for this idealistic perfection concept. So there's Joe's problems. We have a unique solution to Joe's problems. We've developed an algorithm, and what the algorithm is going to do, we're going to assess Joe's starting point. So we're going to see what Joe's current fitness level is. Joe could be an accomplished athlete, or Joe could be an absolute newbie who's never done any cycling, never done any running, never done any fitness activity. We're going to assess Joe's starting point. We're going to define Joe's goal. Joe's goal could be to run 50, to ride 50 miles. It could be something more modest, like to complete a 5K. So regardless of what Joe's ambition, what the algorithm is going to do is it's going to move away from the template-driven training plans that are prevalent in the market at the moment. It's going to respond dynamically to Joe's changing situation. So the journey we're going to take Joe on, it's going to change. If Joe comes home from work late on a Tuesday night and we have a 60-minute workout plan for Joe, Joe opens up the app and he says, you know what, I can't do 60 minutes tonight. I've only got 20 minutes to do tonight. It'll change to a 20-minute workout, and also the rest of the week and the following week will change based on Joe's inability to train tonight. So he's not getting further away from his goal by missing today's session. Also, the algorithm's smart. It learns Joe's preferences. Joe likes to go out after work and have a few beers on a Friday night, but we're prescribing him a workout on a Friday night. If Joe tells him, I don't want to work out on a Friday night, or I don't like doing interval workouts on a Friday night, he'll remember that. So the more Joe interacts with the algorithm, the smarter it gets. So Joe's going to get the perfect training session at the perfect time every single time. So it's a big departure from the current template-driven training plans. So Strava, Map My Ride, Map My Run, Runkeeper, Garmin Connect. By 2018, there's going to be 320 million wearables in the market. Everything in the market at the moment, they're focused on a descriptive model. What did I do on my session today? What was my heart rate doing? How far did I go? Where did I go? GPS-driven stuff. So we're looking to move away from that descriptive model. We're looking to move to a proscriptive model. What should I be doing on my training session today? The market is moving towards these wearables, and I think we're well positioned to capture that market as it moves towards us. Thank you.
Two quick questions.
I'm going to bring Santi Cattori up as well. He's our CTO.
What is the actual revenue model? Like, how do you get paid?
So the revenue model is a freemium model. So we're going to go with 3 pay grades on it. So basic grade is going to be free because we do have a value in getting users to engage with it because the algorithm gets smarter the more. And then based on the number of features you're unlocking, if you're using just heart rate, it's going to be a $299 model, and it's going to be tiered again at $599 if somebody wants to engage with the more advanced features.
And how are you getting data into the app? Am I inputting it manually, or are you connecting to some other devices?
I'll throw my algorithm guy onto this one.
Yeah, we're working with a whole bunch of APIs to bring in the data automatically, so you never have to worry about downloading or syncing anything. Is this on? Cool.
I'm Joe.
You're a cyclist?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Would you use it?
Yeah, and I don't use Strava because I don't want to be king of the mountain, just like you said. But.
So is it launched?
It's not launched, no. We're in alpha at the moment. So I think you identified the exact problem there. You don't want to use Strava because you're stacked up against peers, and your peers have very different life circumstances. You know, you're probably a busy guy who has a lot going on. You know, I'm an aspiring or an ex-professional cyclist. So if we launch us and have us in the same leaderboard, you know, he ends up feeling pretty bad about himself, and it's demotivating.
Crushing.
Yeah, it's crushing. It's killing him. I can see it already.
How do you anticipate integrating with other wearables? I hate to be super focused on the watch, but how does that impact?
Yeah, so I think a couple things. One, we want to be able to deliver the perfect workout at the perfect time. By that, we need to know kind of not just your training load because of the things that we are prescribing you, but your life stress as well. So sleep, diet, all this kind of stuff. We pull that in. If you say everything going through the week was great, but Friday night you didn't sleep well, we're not going to give you the hardest workout in the world on Saturday. We pull in your sleep data. We automatically know, hey, let's do that Sunday. And then Apple smartwatch kind of stuff.
Well, are you going to be able to tell me how good my workout was?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, not just how good it was on some sort of absolute scale, like you ran 8 miles, but you were supposed to do X, Y, and Z, and you did that to 85%, and you should get rewarded for that. You shouldn't get rewarded for sandbagging the entire workout and then sprinting this one little segment, which is currently what people get rewarded for. But you should be rewarded for doing the workout that gets you towards your goal, and I think that's really helpful and meaningful in this space. We have like 5 seconds left. Do you have an aspiration beyond cycling? Not that cycling isn't amazing. No, yeah, totally. We definitely, the algorithms works easily towards running and triathletes, and then we're also working on, we're effectively quantifying stress, what the stress is on the body and mind through training, and that is potentially extensible into every other sport. Mm-hmm. So. Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us this morning. If you are interested in listening to the 6 post-revenue companies, come back at 10:20. And we will be announcing award winners for both tracks at the Alpha Awards tonight at 4:45. So you're welcome to join us for that as well. So let's give another round of applause to our judges and our contestants today.